watching the RebZone Sports Show on Fox 5.
A celebration in San Diego.
That doesn't happen tonight if you beautiful guys don't continue to show up and work the way you have every damn year.
The Rebels stunned the Aztecs with a late fourth quarter rally. Straight ahead in the Red Zone, we break down a big win. Plus, Lexington Thomas runs his way into the UNLV record books at the same time that he gave the Rebels the lead. And why not go for two in a row? UNLV heads to Hawaii looking to retain the Golden Pineapple. We've got a preview. The Red Zone getting air and not falling flat. It's 30 minutes that will be lightning quick right now.
This is the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by RC Willey. Your home, your way.
Good evening. Welcome inside the Red Zone. Kevin Bollinger alongside UNLV head football coach Tony Sanchez, coming off a monster win down in San Diego. We know the season hasn't necessarily played out exactly like you wanted, but a little validation, it's got to be rewarding seeing that all the hard work and staying with it paid off.
Yeah, you know, just so darn proud of our guys, you know, our coaches. Everyone has just done a really, really good job of just going and showing up every day, just going to work and doing the little things you need to do to continue to grow and get better. And like I told the guys in the locker room, you know, we don't get that win if we don't have that you know, that steadiness and, you know, just that conviction to show up and get better every day.
Let's show you the highlights of this one. We're going to begin with the first half, where the Rebels sent a clear message that they were there to win.
Getting rid of all the things that don't serve you, all of the things that get in your way of being the best version of yourself, all the things that hold you back, that paralyze you. You have to get rid of them. You have to discard them. We know what we've been through. It is our strength if we recognize it. Let it go tonight. Get rid of that stuff. Get rid of that mess that's in the way of us being the best version of ourselves.
A fired-up Rebels team was ready to play, looking for UNLV's first win in San Diego since 2000. The defense set the tone early, forcing a 3-and-out and denying Aztec running back Juwan Washington. Then it was the offensive turn to make a statement. Max Gillum hits Darren Woods on the slant, and Woods breaks free, crossing the field and going all the way down to the San Diego 5. On 3rd and goal, Gillum overthrows his receiver, and the Rebels had to settle for a 22-yard Evan Pantel's field goal in a 3-0 lead. SDSU had a 3rd and 13 at their own 33. Christian Chapman back to pass, and he's picked off by Dalton Baker. The Rebels were in business at the Aztec 44. On 4th and 1 at the 35, Jamal Neal gets the rock, and he rumbles to the 27 to move the chains. That would set up Pantel's for a 46-yard field goal, and UNLV's lead was up to 6-0. On to the second quarter, where Chapman goes to the end zone, and Tom Wilson Jr. elevates for the touchdown grab. That gave San Diego a 7-6 lead. UNLV had a 3rd and 14 at their own 36. Gillum is hit as he throws, but he still gets it to Tylee Collins for 16 yards and the first down in Aztec territory. Then Gillum deep downfield. Watch the catch by Brandon Presley with guys all over him. UNLV had a 1st and goal at the 2. On the very next play, Lexington Thomas squeezes through the pile for the touchdown, and the Rebels were back on top, 13-6. Ryan Agnew was put in a quarterback for San Diego, and he moved the Aztecs down the field, but Jameer Outsey comes up with a big sack, and that would force a punt. The Aztecs did get the ball back late in the half, and they convert on 4th and 1 as Washington gets just enough. Then Agnew hit Tim Wilson Jr. for the first down at the 11. On 4th and goal at the 2, the Aztecs pitch to Washington. He cuts back for the touchdown. A solid first half for UNLV, but San Diego State had a 14-13 lead at the break. All right, let's start with the defense because really the tone was set with them stopping the run, and it continued for 4 quarters. Juwan Washington only with 66 net yards.
Yeah.
That's huge when you play San Diego State.
Yeah, I mean, they're a big physical team. They're going to ground and pound you, play action pass, and our defense did a great job of the run fits all night. I mean, getting a 3 and out right away was a big deal. We put them in a lot of we had some great third down stops. You know, when I say third down stop, you know, forcing them to have a 4th and short, and they weren't comfortable going for it in a lot of games that they are. So, again, we came out and played with you know, a real sense of urgency. Javen White played the safety spot, which was new for us in 20 and 21 personnel just because of what they did. That was a real good move by Coach Skip to do that, and Javen had a heck of a game. But, you know, really excited to see the energy and the physicality, and we tackled so well.
You score on the first 2 possessions. I know you want touchdowns instead of field goals, but still going down and getting points on the board on the first 2 really kind of, you know, made sure that you guys were going to be in this thing.
You know, it was really big for momentum. You know, obviously on that first drive, we had 2 open guys. We missed them. We got to do a better job at that, clean that up. But like you said, we were able to get points on the board, you know, and get that lead. You know, you saw that lead go, you know, down by 1, then you take it back. That was a great drive. What a catch by Brandon Presley, but that was a really good job of answering their score to take that eventual lead, and then unfortunately we, you know, gave it up right before the half. So we knew we were right there.
You had good chunks of yardage on first down as well throughout this game, especially in the first half, and that opens up so much more of the playbook when you guys are able to do that.
It does. It brings shot plays back in. You know, you can get a little more creative on second down, and when we were over 50% on third downs. If you're over 50%, you have a great chance of winning, but the reason we were over 50% on third down is because of our first down production. Just allowed us to do different things on second.
Let's go to the second half right now, where the fourth quarter comeback by the Rebels set off a fun celebration for UNLV.
UNLV had the ball to start the second half, but Gillum is hit as he throws and is picked off by Trenton Thompson. The Aztecs got the ball in Rebel territory. But John Barron missed a field goal wide left, and the game stayed 14-13. SDSU got the ball back after a punt, and Agnew hit Ethan Dado for a big gain down to the 21. That set up Barron for a 33-yard field goal, and this time he connects. The Aztecs led 17-13. UNLV started to put a drive together, but Charles Williams gets stripped of the ball. Parker Baldwin recovers for San Diego at the 48. Last play of the third quarter, Agnew finds Wilson for a 34-yard touchdown, and we headed to the fourth quarter with UNLV down 24-13. The offense got them right back in it. On 3rd and 20, Gillum to Thomas, who weaves his way in and out of traffic for a first down. Then Gillum to Presley, who makes another incredible catch for a touchdown. The Rebels go for 2 to try and cut the deficit to 3, but the ball is just out of Presley's reach. UNLV, though, was still within 1 score at 24-19. The defense stayed strong, but a big mental mistake almost did them in. Kolowaske gets the sack, but he picks Agnew up after the whistle and is flagged for unnecessary roughness. The D would pick him up later in the drive. On 3rd and 11 at the 45, Agnew flushed out of the pocket and he has nowhere to go. The Aztecs had to punt. UNLV started the possession at the 8 with 5:20 to go, but they wouldn't need long because lightning was ready to strike. Thomas cuts to his right, then turns up the sideline. Then he cuts back across the field and bolts 75 yards for the score. That would break the school rushing touchdown record in the process. The sideline went nuts, but the Rebels had to settle down and go for 2. Gillum hit Presley for the conversion. The UNLV lead was 27-24, and Tony Sanchez got some air and some turf. There was still 3:27 to go. The Aztecs picked up a first down at the 50 with 1:47 left. Agnew would drop back to pass. Jericho Flowers steps in for the interception, and the celebration was on. A solid effort on both sides of the ball, and a huge win for the program as UNLV takes it 27-24, their first victory in San Diego in 18 years.
forget, sometimes when we're going through our own damn misery, sometimes when we're going through our own struggles, we start thrashing around in the water. That doesn't do anything, does it, guys? So you have to stay the course. You have to be tougher than the situation, and you got to go back to work every single day. And I'm telling you right now, that doesn't happen tonight if you beautiful guys don't continue to show up and work the way you have every damn year.
When we come out here and play together and play as one, then good outcomes come. And we just need to keep doing that and stay consistent.
It feels great to win a game and break a record, but to me, it's all about winning this game. Like you said, we haven't won here since 2000. I've been here for 4 years since I first won against these guys. It meant a lot to me to score a touchdown against these guys. My first touchdown meant a lot to me. I haven't scored in the 4 years I've been here. It was my first time scoring, so a lot of stuff went well today, and I just credit the team for the win.
Let's start right there with Lexington Thomas.
Yeah.
Huge touchdown run. He breaks the school record. He ties another with another 100-yard game. This is one of your first recruits when you came to UNLV. What has he meant to this program, not just last night, but over the 4 years?
I mean, just the fight. I mean, that the guy has. I mean, he sits there at 5'9", 175 pounds, dripping wet. He just, I mean, that third down play and then that touchdown run, it just epitomizes his entire career. He's explosive. You know, he's such a team guy. You hear the way he explains it. It's not about the record. It's about, you know, the team and winning the game. And, you know, and he's right. It is about that. But you know what? I think when he looks back on his career here at UNLV and all the things he's done to move this program forward and realizing he's one of the great Rebels of all time, it's a pretty special deal.
I want to go back to the defense because they got some huge third down stops. And then, of course, the Jericho Flowers interception to seal it up. This is a defense that's taken a lot of heat here, and in the last few weeks, they answered the call.
Yeah, they did. I'll tell you what, that's a defense that's very depleted. There's a lot of injuries. I mean, just last week we lost 3 guys to surgeries in the secondary. You know, not much depth there, but those guys, you know, they made the plays rather than waiting for the, you know, the hat to drop. You know, and we talked all week about San Diego State. They're a program that knows how to win, and they're waiting for something good to happen, where at times it almost seems like we're waiting for something bad to happen. Our guys stepped up and made the plays when they needed to, and, you know, hopefully that's a big turning point in just the mental toughness and culture.
I want to move on to the celebration here because several weeks of frustration seem to let out. Just a happy group of guys, first road win. But, I mean, wow, just I've never seen a group of kids so excited after a win.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they're a great program. It's a big win against a team we haven't beat on the road in, 18 years, and a team we haven't just beat in general very often at all, you know. So it was a good win against a really good team and a great program. And I'm just so happy. You look at the guys, you see the smiles on their faces, and you know, you're with them every day, and you know how hard they work. And to see them, to see the coaches, the managers, the trainers, you know, our president was there, Marta. She, you know, it was great to have her there. I mean, it was just good having all those people there that invest so much in UNLV to be able to celebrate it. And for all of our fans out there, I know they've gone through a lot too. You know, they don't show up to practice every day, but they're out there cheering us on. So I was happy for them.
We're not going to let it slide by. We got to show the chest bump here. When you go up against a big old lineman, bad things could happen. Take us through this.
Well, you know, I'm fired up, and so I'm a chest bump, and about halfway up, I realize I'm not going to land on my feet here. So I'm retiring from chest bumping, especially 300-pounders. I'll chest bump Lex next time. I'm not doing that to Matt anymore.
It was fun to see all the smiles out there. It was a good time. But you know what? That one's behind us. We're moving on to next week already. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we are going to look ahead to Saturday. UNLV traveling to Hawaii to take on the Rainbow Warriors.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by RC Willey. Your home, your way.
The Rebels head to Oahu on Saturday with a meeting with the Rainbow Warriors of Hawaii.
Saturday night on Oahu, UNLV looks to keep their own Aloha magic going against Hawaii. It's always a great rivalry, with Las Vegas being known as the ninth island because of so many Hawaiians living here, and UNLV having a lot of hospitality alumni living on the islands.
It's just about fun and football and
probably food too.
Hawaii head coach Nick Rolovich is about as fun as it gets, always keeping things loose. This year at the Mountain West Media Summit in Las Vegas, he hired a Britney Spears impersonator to give greetings to the other head coaches and Commissioner Craig Thompson. Most got a kick out of it.
people laughed. They had a good time. A couple people loosened them up a little bit.
Yeah, but I enjoy the uncomfortableness of some people.
But when it comes to football, Rolovich is serious, and he has this Hawaii team on the verge of a bowl game. They need just one more win after a hot streak to start the season. The Warriors started the season 6-1, and rode sophomore quarterback Cole McDonald, who was nothing short of brilliant. But things have cooled off a bit since. Also, the Hawaii defense has been porous in their 4-game losing streak. The Warriors have been outscored by a total of 113 points during that streak. This could set up to be like Hawaii UNLV games that we've seen a lot. High-scoring affairs that come down to the last possession.
Not to disregard the defense or anything, but it is a high-scoring game most times, and it's always fun to have those games where it's a shootout, and that's our offense, is to run and shoot, you know, and UNLV does a great job putting points on the board, and so it's always fun to see who comes out. It's a nail-biter at the end. UNLV's
last 2 trips to Hawaii brought wild finishes. 4 years ago, the Rebels thought they had it won on a late touchdown, but the officiating crew called double personal fouls on UNLV to put Hawaii in position to score on the final play of the game. 2 years ago, the Rebels were on the victorious side, as Evan Pantels booted a late field goal to give UNLV the win in a game where Lexington Thomas got his Lightning nickname.
First and 10, 34-yard line. Lexington Thomas across the 20, inside the 10. Wow, 34 yards of lightning.
Bottom line, anything can and will happen on the islands. This should be a good one.
When you talk Hawaii football this season, that quarterback is something that you definitely have to contend with. He's put up some big numbers early in the year.
Yeah.
Have other teams in their stretch here recently maybe given teams a little better playbook in terms of how to defend him?
They have. You know, he got banged up a little bit too for you know, a short period of time. You know, they're coming off a bye week. I'm sure he'll be healthy, you know, going into this game. But they're explosive. They're going to take shots down the field. I mean, you know, it's going to be such a different game, such a different matchup than this last week. You know, San Diego State's going to ground and pound you. These guys are going to spread you out, and they're going to work that 4 vertical stretch, horizontal stretches across the field. And so we're going to have to really play well in the back end and try to, you know, manufacture some pressure on them.
It's always tough for a coach when you go to a place like Hawaii to balance out letting the guys enjoy the fact that they're in Hawaii, but make sure that they know they're there for a business trip. How do you plan on doing that?
I'll tell you what, it's kind of like we did the last time we were there. You know, we'll get there on Thursday night late, wake up, and we'll do our regular Friday fast practice, and we'll be locked in, we'll be focused, we'll, you know, get that thing done. And then literally where we're staying at, there's 2 stoplights and there's a beachhead, and I'm gonna give them 3 hours, go. I mean, we have some kids who've never been there, never been to Hawaii, never seen a place like that. So I think one of the worst things you can do is just confine them to the hotel, right? So they gotta be mature on their best behavior, but we'll let them go out for a little bit. They'll be back in the hotel by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then we'll get right back into film and meetings, and then we don't kick off till later that evening in Hawaii anyway. So plenty of time and just enough to see, but enough to get fired up about the experience too.
That's a 6 o'clock Pacific time start, 6 o'clock Island time start, I should say, 8 o'clock at night here in Las Vegas. We're going to step away from football for just a moment. When we come back, we're going to show you what happened with the Runnin' Rebels opener last night at the Thomas and Mack, and that's next as the RebZone rolls on.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by RC Willie. Your home, your way.
The Runnin' Rebels season tipped off Saturday night much differently than expected. What was supposed to be a game that created a foundational buzz for the program turned into a bust, as UNLV had more turnovers than they did field goals. Vince Sapienza has the highlights.
Let's go to the Thomas and Mack, where points came at a premium for both teams, especially in the first half. UNLV held LMU to just 26% shooting from the field. Mbake Jiang, a big part of that, but here he asserts his dominance on the run, flying for the 2-hand slam. A little later, Chris Clyburn tickling the twine from distance. That would turn out to be the only 3-ball by either team in the first 20. UNLV led 25-18 at the break. Jump to the second, the Runnin' Rebels continuing to flex their defensive muscle. Check out Jiang with not 1 but 2 blocks on the same defensive series. He finished with a game-high 5 for the night. Later in the second, the juice got loose. Shakur Justin, the senior, showing off all the different tools in his toolbox, gets the block on one end, goes the other way, shows his strength inside with the hoop and the arm. and then a minute later he shows off the range. Houston finished with a team-high 12 points and 7 boards. Unfortunately, not much secondary scoring from UNLV. That, along with the 24 turnovers for the Scarlet and Gray. Off the inbound, Joe Kitana with the steal, takes it the other way and gets the finish. But down the stretch, the story of the game became James Bateman. The senior guard couldn't miss from just about anywhere on the floor, finishing with a game-high 27, doing most of the damage on a late Lion 13-0 run. He was 4 of 7 from three-land, and the Lions roar past UNLV, stealing one on the road from the running Rebels, 61-50.
Thank you, Vince. We're back to wrap up the Red Zone right after this.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by RC Willey. Your home, your way.
All right, Coach, congrats on the win. Good luck over in Hawaii. We'll be with the team, and we'll have all your coverage and a breakdown next Sunday in the Red Zone. Thanks for joining us for this one. We leave you with the plays of the week from the victorious Rebels. Good night.
The Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show was presented by RC Willey. Your home.